Hey, good evening everybody. Welcome to El Toro Dice Club here. El Toro and wife are here tonight. So, hey guys, thanks again for all the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed that last video. My wife was here with me, by the way. It's not a deal where I just shoo her away, by the way. It's a deal where she's actually the money manager. She'll see a black chip and she'll steal it. Basically, it's the way it works. You know, when you start converting these chips and, you know, you get one or two of them up in your rack and you stick them up there, she'll come up and, you know, just kind of snatch one. But it's not a big deal because she puts it in her purse or she'll go cash it. She'll go convert it to cash at the cage for me. It's kind of nice, you know, she'll just go and get it done. So anyway, I guess you guys are wondering what these dice are doing out here and why do I have these oddly stacked chips. Here's what we're gonna do. I got one of my viewers said, hey, you know, after watching the random shooter roll for 36 rolls, we were checking the probability of the dice to see how true it stayed to the chart. He says, hey, I got an idea for you. How about if you roll and then your wife rolls and then we'll see how the outcome looks together. All right, well, no problem. Now, no promises here, guys, because I'm going to be talking through this, and you know what happens when I talk. I usually don't roll as well as I could, but I have to fill the space. So these two stacks are my wife's. White chips, and every time she throws doubles or hard ways, she's going to be green. I will be red and black. So we'll pretty much get started because the video takes a little bit long to do. I will let you guys know that I tried to do one, but the video ran over 30 minutes. We did it earlier. She did kick my butt, by the way.
And I plan to do it again.
All right, so anyway, we're gonna get started. Go ahead, random shooter. That's what she's gonna do. All right, so that's gonna be a 5-4. You know, and so one of these things that we're talking about, guys, is coming up with your numbers. This is one way of doing it, right? You basically come up with what are going to be your core numbers. And the only way to do that is by documenting. Not everybody has, you know, one of these out here where you can, you know, grab chips and drop it on there and document. So use the old-fashioned pen and paper. You know, this is more fun, obviously, but, you know, hey, there's nothing wrong with pen and paper. It works just the same, works just fine. So what you do is you start documenting, and you're going to find out what your numbers are. You're going to find out what you're good at throwing. So that's what I recommend y'all do. So grab your dice, start practicing and documenting, and try to find out what you're good at throwing. That's a hard 4, 2-2. There you go already. She's starting off already on fire. This is the scary thing. I'm trying to figure out what to title this video, y'all. I'm not sure what I'm going to title it yet. But
Wife kicks butt.
We're going to not title it that. I don't know. We're going to title it something. We will title it something.
Heartache.
Heartache? All right, I'll take that heartache. Okay. All right. Well, this is actually, if anything else, it's good practice, and you know, it's kind of neat to. I'll tell you what. I mean, where's the dice at?
It's right in front of you.
Oh, here it is. A 2. So it's kind of nice, you know. You get to hang out with your wife for a little bit and enjoy something together that's not, you know, reading or sitting quietly. Yeah, we don't watch much TV either, you know. To be honest with you guys. There's nothing ever really on, so you gotta find something to do, you know. Find entertaining things to do, stuff that excites both of you, you know. So anyway, this is also one of those times where you get to work on your mechanics. You got to start watching your dice. This is and it's going to be a little bit tougher for me because I'm kind of narrating through what's going on. But this is also where you start watching your dice, taking mental notes, if anything else, right? You're going to take mental notes on what are your dice doing, start focusing on your landing zone.
Damn.
Start focusing on your landing zone, and make sure that you concentrate on what it is you're trying to accomplish, right? So if your goal is just to throw 36 times and just get numbers, well, okay, if that's what your objective is, then go for it. If your objective is like mine, which is always find your core numbers. Remember I mentioned in the last video, there's 3 of them. You'll have 3. I mentioned that. Find your core numbers, and those are the numbers that you're supposed to be betting heavy on yourself. So when you bet heavy, that's when you start making money. And if you think about it, why would you want yourself exposed for a long period of time on your own money? Right? I mean, why? This is a 2. Yeah, another one?
Another 2?
So, yeah, no, right? Tough work right there. Get yourself on the house's money as fast as possible. That's the whole premise of this deal, right? That's what we want to do. That's how you become profitable faster. There's a lot to be said about a couple of different systems. One, some guys like to climb their way, up on profits by pressing and then betting and press and bet and press. And they do that by, betting on the 6 and 8, and then they call it an inside out strategy, right? So you bet on the inside numbers, and then as you pay yourself on one, then the next time it hits, you press, or you basically buy an outside number, right? So that's what a lot of guys like to do. I, for one, am not like that. I've tried it that way, and I want to do my best to maximize every roll possible. Meaning that if I can get paid on that roll, I am going to get paid. And I'm not going to get paid little dinky dollars. I want to get paid heavy, so that I know I'm not exposed on my own money for more than 1 or 2 rolls, possibly even 3 at the most. And that's why I showed you guys yesterday. Hey, this is how my betting strategy works, and I've tried it. I've worked at it, and I kind of developed it to where it makes a lot more sense, for me. And it might make sense for you guys as well. Because again, like we say, the objective is get off your money as fast as you can. Get on someone else's money. 5. So, there we go.
Talking to me kicking your butt.
Well, you are, actually. It's early. Slow and steady wins a race is what I say. Remember that. So anyway, this is how you practice, guys. This is where you want to find your numbers. This is where you want to start working out all the kinks in your throw, working out all the kinks in your mechanics, making sure that you're not wishy-washy on your wrists or turning it or getting fancy with the hand work or, doing whatever it is you see other people do that, who knows what they're doing. But, you can get all kinds of things out there. But to me, I try not to draw too much attention to myself at all when I'm at the tables. And like I think I've told you guys this before, the reason for that is because I don't want to get people looking at me going, man, we got somebody here we need to watch out for. Maybe we don't need to have them at the table. Maybe we'll politely ask them to leave. Those kind of things. I enjoy playing this game. What's this doing out here?
I rolled 2 7s.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I'll put those. Oh yeah, I didn't even know what that was. Anyway, I try to stay quiet when I'm out there. I don't draw too much attention to myself when it comes to doing things. So you can make it look like there's a lot of luck because you're smart and you work a strategy. And I think I say this all the time as well in all my videos. When you have a strategy and you go to the casino, follow it. Work your strategy, right? That way your strategy can work for you. Easy or hard?
Easy.
Right. So that's one of those things that we got to start looking at is working your strategies. What happens when you don't work your strategies, babe?
You'll lose.
Yeah, there you go. Hopefully you guys can hear her. She's a very diminutive voice. But, I mean, actually, we both do. We don't have very loud voices anyway, and, you know, on this particular deal, it's a 6.
Oh.
That's a 6. It's not a 7.
See, I'm blind too.
It's a 6. Yeah, so basically what she said, if you didn't hear her, is if you don't work your strategy, you are going to lose. And you also have to go in there with another plan too, right? Which is this. It's not just so much your betting plan. It's when are you leaving, right? Is your goal, your objective to go in and make $100? If it is, great. Are you disciplined enough to get up off the table and go home? You know, that's the other question. That's the tough part. Because most of us love this game to death. God, we love it to death. We can play it for hours. But the problem with that is the longer you stay at the table, the higher the probability of you losing becomes. Because you're going to take your little bit of winnings and give them right back to the casino. That's what they're planning on. That's what they're planning on you doing. Huh? One more time.
Never mind. Go ahead, roll.
That's what they're planning on you doing. I can't hear you, babe. You have to talk to me. All right, here we go. Frustrate me, please. So, anyway, you got to go with a plan, which is at what point are you going to call it a day, right? So if your plan is to go with, let's say a $200, $300, $400, $500 bankroll, and you decide, hey, I'm walking out of here with $200. Well, then, are you disciplined enough to walk out with $200, or are you the kind that is a eternal optimist that says, well, you know, I won this 200, so I'm going to go ahead and make more. Most of us are eternal optimists. That's why most everybody who's watching this channel probably plays on the pass line with the table, right? The majority. There's nothing wrong with playing on the dark side, by the way. It doesn't change the odds of the table. It doesn't change the dice. It doesn't cool the dice off. By the way, my dice are still the same temperature. They're not hotter or colder right now. They're all the same. It's still a piece of plastic. It's all about you, right? That's why when they take a long time in bringing me the dice, I don't care. As a matter of fact, it gives me a chance to sip on my soda, my cranberry and my Red Bull, actually. I get a chance to relax and chill out. It doesn't bother me. You know, and some guys, what you got to know, there's also something else that I didn't mention in any of my videos, actually. Maybe you guys know, I hope I'm calling it right, it's called transference. I'm a firm believer, and actually I think it is, it's most dogs, for example, because I have dogs, most dogs can tell when you're happy, angry, sad, you know, aggressive, irritated. I think that translates throughout your entire body. So that's why I always say, whenever you guys comment back to me, I always tell you, hey man, thanks again for the positive feedback. I appreciate it. There's a reason for that. Because I like positive vibes, positive energy, right? That translates and comes through my hands to the dice. Believe it or not. When you're angry, you're uptight, you're upset, you know, hey, the dice are hot, bring them back, hurry. Oh, you've done this, successfully frustrated yourself. You've let and allowed the table to take you over mentally. You lost the game. You lost the game. At that point, you shouldn't put any more money down. Just kind of giving you some tips, guys. You know, for me, I don't get frustrated anymore because it doesn't matter how long they hold the dice. They could hold the dice for 15, 20 minutes. It is not going to affect me in any way. My shooting stays the same. The dice stay the same. My grip, my fingers stay the same. I just decided that my attitude is going to stay exactly the same. Happy. That's it. Happy and positive the whole time. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll stay happy and positive. Because I'm not gonna gain anything out of it if I do anything differently, other than frustration and maybe more sevens. And that's what the casinos know. They know this. So when you're frustrated, you're uptight, you're anxious, you're in a hurry to get the dice in your hand, you're in a hurry to throw that 7, man, they already know it. Ooh, hard 8, nice number. They know it. So if they know that they can get to you by just holding the dice a little bit longer or bringing them back to the middle of the table, and you're the shooter, they're waiting to see, get more money on the table. I got a shooter that's frustrated, and any minute now, he's going to throw a 7. That's what they know. So don't let these guys outsmart you. You got to be better than they are. You got to be much better than they are. So keep yourself in check, right? But then have your plan to exit. So know when you're supposed to exit, right? I kind of went off on a tangent, sorry. Know when you're supposed to exit, and then be disciplined to implement your exit strategy. And if that means that it takes you half an hour to drive to the casino, or let's say an hour, if it takes you an hour to drive to the casino, and you're there for 15 minutes, and you've made what you went to go make, tear your ass home. Get in the car. Go back home a winner. You reached your goal, right? Or if you surpass your goal, put your goal in your pocket and then play with just a little bit of winnings. Ah, see, dadgummit. Not even concentrating there. Put your winnings back in your pocket, and don't dig into it. So that's some small advice. 9. But guys, I tell you, this is to me this is super fun. It's great. It's great being able to kind of speak your mind freely about what everyone else is always thinking, but they're always too afraid to say. There's nothing wrong with how you do things at a table. Don't let people snicker behind you. Don't let them. It doesn't matter. Don't let them mess with you. You go in there, accomplish what you meant to accomplish, and go. That's the trick. What's that? Another 7? Good night. Back to back. Son of a biscuit.
Catching up to me.
Yeah, no shit. That's what happens when I'm talking. I'm rambling.
Okay, well, don't
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to quit talking, because if not, this video probably gonna last longer than what I need it to. Man, you are throwing these craps like it was nobody's business. Another 2. That is amazing. So, anyway, kind of neat little challenge. I like it. We like the idea. I like the concept, and I was trying to figure out a way how we could do this and kind of make it make sense. And I'm hoping this actually does the trick. There we go.
That would be a 9.
Hmm?
That's a 9.
Okay. So anyway, if you guys have the ability to practice, I always say it all the time, practice the right way. Don't practice the wrong way. That's another little key. It's a 9 also. Practice the right way. Now, everybody's gonna ask me what the heck's the right way and the wrong way. Practicing the right way means, for me, what it means is practice to a goal, to what are you trying to accomplish by practicing. It's not just grab 2 dice and throw them down the table. That's not practicing. Practicing is if you're trying to study your dice the way I do mine, if you're trying to keep them from rolling or turning in the air, then focus on that. That's your practice. Doesn't matter what the outcome of the dice is, you're focusing on minimizing the turn and spin of your dice. That will be your goal. Okay? So go practice with a plan. Practice the right way, right? And then when you've done that, then you're finished. So you want to document so you can check your progress. That's really the big thing there. Measuring your progress, measuring your progress and checking your results. That's the key. That'll help get you better. So, anyway, guys, thanks for the comments. Thanks for all that stuff. I appreciate it. I really do. I try to reply back to everyone and you know, make sure that everybody's getting attended to. All right, here we go. Ooh.
Oh, lucky 8.
Those turned in the air. I don't like that. Walk this way with it because we have to.
Yeah.
We'll have to hurry a little bit. Now this video here will get a little long. Oh, dice off the table, too tall to call, baby. You get to roll again. So, it happens. So, anyway, still not doing that bad. I mean, hell. They're both about the same, to be honest with you, except you throw more craps, I think, than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you actually have. I haven't rolled any yet. Golly. Oh, here's another thing too, guys. I was gonna mention this. I don't know if I did it in the last video or not. Whenever you have your dice set and you get your hands on them, if your dice come apart during your setup, start over. Try not to make the correction and adjustment during, you know, midstream here. Fix your dice. That was horrible. Fix your dice. Fix your dice before you launch them. You will not get the results you're looking for if you try. Does that make sense? Start over, right? Well, no one's in a hurry at the table. No one's in a hurry. Some of them may be rushing you, but don't let that bother you. So don't let that bother you. They may be impatient. You don't have to be. Mm-hmm. Five.
Oh, yeah.
That's it, right? Ooh, off the table again. A little bouncy. A little bouncy. Oh yeah, speaking of. I believe I mentioned this on the last video too. If you're gonna practice, try to practice with a similar surface that's what at your casino. Most casinos nowadays are getting bouncy surface tables because it is more difficult for the shooters to control the dice and get longer outcomes. It's getting much more difficult for those of us who do this to achieve these results and influence the dice the way we want them to go. It's getting more and more difficult. I actually play at a table. This is similar to mine, but they've actually changed the microfiber or the felt that's on the table, where it's almost it feels like it's got tiny microscopic ribs or ridges underneath it, which is causing the dice to scramble everywhere a little bit. So I'm going to have to look at getting another surface for my table here at home, so I can try to get as close to that as possible. But I mean, like I said, it's not cheating. They're just changing up the game for us, right? That's all they're doing. They're just changing up the game. You just got to be good enough to recognize those casino changes and modify, make your modifications yourself to where it doesn't hurt you in a negative fashion, right? God dang, I didn't like that either. So anyway, we're more than halfway done. You guys are seeing the throw. It looks like the random shooter is about the same as a controlled shooter, relatively close. Well, except for that roll. It looks relatively even Stevens. You know what I mean? So we're getting closer to the bottom. You're seeing as the points stack up. Looks like this random shooter loves that 9 over there. She's killing that 9. I think in the last video she was a random shooter. She also murdered a 9. I mean, she's done that 9 several times. She kills it over there, which is good. So if I go to the casino this weekend with her, which I probably will, guess what number I'm going to bet when she gets the dice? What number, babe?
Probably not.
Probably the 9. I bet that 9 on her.
9. 5.
Another 5. Okay. So that's the other thing too. Like when you, like I said, when you start studying your dice, you start studying your numbers. You do multiple of these things. It's 8. You do multiple of these rolls, and just try to find out where you fall. Where are you going to fall in the dice? What are your numbers? What do you throw consistently? And then start modifying or checking whatever dice sets you like. Because that's the nice part about being at home is that you can practice. You can practice a bunch of different dice sets. You can practice your grip, your technique, all for free. If you want to go to the craps table and you go up there with the intention that I'm going to go ahead and practice my throw and it's only $5 a throw, that's not going to work out in your favor, guys. It's $5 just to get on the table.
5.
And if you're like most gamblers, you're going to just keep on gambling. That $5 is going to turn into $10, which turns into $25, which turns into $50. Then all of a sudden you're at the ATM machine again. Ooh. It's not hard. 10. Easy. So I don't know, men have a different perspective of this game than women, like I said the last time. Yes?
I mean, I'm not really a craps player. I kind of just watch.
Yeah.
But
Say that again?
I
Say it
said
again?
I'm not a craps player. I just watch.
Yeah, so my wife, she's not a craps player. She likes to watch. She likes to watch. I guess she enjoys me having fun, right?
Yeah.
And she enjoys yanking them black chips.
I steal them when I can.
She steals them when she can, right? And for those of you who have supportive wives like mine, guys, you hang on to those ones. They're greatness. And ladies, if you're watching, this is not just a men-only channel. I promise you. I told you guys I was going to have my wife out here so she can participate. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, expert, guess what? We all can learn something from someone. Part 8. The minute you stop learning is the minute you need to get out of the game. Remember that. If you decide that you know it all and you think you know everything there is to know about this game or anything, get out of it. You're done. You'll never advance anymore because you think you know it all. I learn something new every day. Every time I pick up these dice, every time I look at the table, every time I make a payout, my mind is always thinking about, did I make the best decision I could have with my money here on the table?
You're lucky.
And if the answer is yes, then I look at it again and say, how could I make that better? There you go. Awesome. I say, how could I have made that better? That's me.
Oh,
Don't poison my dice.
wow.
Now that right there, that's bad news.
That's superstition that you don't believe in.
You're right. You're right. Did y'all hear that? Being superstitious about her touching my dice. It's hilarious. Like it's gonna really make a difference. There's a lot of things you can blame in life. Right. Most people choose to blame superstitious things as opposed to themselves. You know, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. time you leaving, buddy? So my son, you guys, to let you know, my son's gonna take off to Florida. Gonna go have some fun in the sun. Part 4. He's just packing up, getting ready to take off. So if I have to stop, if my wife and I have to stop and say goodbye to him, I hope y'all don't mind. All right, here we go. Let's see. What are we talking about? Superstitions? Basically, superstitious people. Crab's table's full of them.
4.
Crab's table's full of them. Sometimes I'll just sometimes at the table I'll just say 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, just loud enough where they can hear me. Eight. Yeah, some people. I'm not one of those superstitious ones when it comes to the tables. Eight. Used to be, not anymore. Well, we're kind of getting down to the bottom of it, aren't we?
2 more.
Just a few more. I need to hit more than one freaking hard 8. What the hell? That's it? Just one hard 8? That's all it is. That's crazy.
4.
That's crazy. Ridiculous. All right, guys. Sorry, there's not a whole lot you can talk about on one of these type of things, right? I just hope you guys get some information out of each and every video. It might take you 20 or 30 minutes to get to the information, but I hope you get some. You know, I try to make it as entertaining as possible. I try to make a few jokes here and there. I try to keep it witty and light. If not, I promise you'd get bored to death watching people roll and try to figure out, what are my numbers? What's the probability? That'll put you to sleep. But I will say, man, watch the whole thing. Watch the whole video. You owe it to yourself. Remember, I'm not getting paid any money from YouTube for this stuff. I don't care how long my average user watches. I don't really care about all that stuff. Like I said before, I make my money playing craps. I make my money on the tables, not by people liking and subscribing. No, I want you to like and subscribe so I can reach more people. I like teaching people everything I've learned. Again, you start as a young man. I think I mentioned this to one of my viewers. When I started when my wife and I first got married, actually, we were at the Bahamas, right? We were in the Bahamas, actually. At the craps table till 5 in the morning. I was playing at craps, but I will tell you this. That's where I fell in love with craps. The game itself. Because I knew it was a fun place to be. I knew that it was a way I could make a lot of money, and it was just I knew there was something there. I just didn't know how to do it. I was too young and too stupid. And then I figured I knew what it was, and then that's when my education started coming around. I think it cost me probably $1,000 or $2,000 every outing at the table. So, yeah, aside from paying for college, then I paid for college, 2 of them. Probably have a master's degree by now in craps. But again, I'm glad I did it. And that's why, honest to God, there's 2 reasons I created this channel, so that y'all know. The first one was so I could watch my own throws. I'm sitting here and I needed to know what I'm doing, and playing back my video, then I have to delete it and then play it back again, and it just takes up a ton of space on your computer. So I was like, well, you know what, let me try this again a different way. I'll do it this way. And it made sense. Then I said, you know what? if I can just impact the lives of just 2, 3, maybe even 4 different people who watch, yeah, that'd be great. I never thought it was just going to start blowing up like this. This is, it's flattering, man. Told my wife. Every day now, it's kind of neat. She always asks me, hey, how many did you get today? How many new subscribers you get? Because it's neat when you start seeing, hey, 2, 3 people subscribe today. It's just kind of neat. It just tells you that the community out there, of the craps playing community is big. It's a bigger community than what most people want to admit. I think there's a lot out there. I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there that want to learn how to play this game.
Heartache.
Ah, another heartache. Look at it. I think there's a lot of people that want to do this. So, if there's anything that I'm doing wrong, I'll figure it out. I don't do stuff intentionally, just so that y'all know. I'll do everything as best I can. But again, the information I'm giving to you is pretty genuine. There's nothing disingenuous about it. It's not made up either. These are real hard data, hard facts. I know that my number, and you guys have seen it on my video, stands out. What do you think my number? What do y'all think my number is? What do you think my number is, babe?
5 and 9. But you rolled a 5.
I rolled a 5. Another one over there. So, you get to know what your numbers are, right? It doesn't matter whether one day, one afternoon, one outing, I murdered the 6, right? That doesn't matter. What matters is that I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to smash the 5. I know that already. So I always bet heavy on the 5. Just again, it's a study. I've studied my throw. I've studied my dice set. I've studied my mechanics. I've studied everything that has to do with me throwing these dice to my advantage. If that makes sense to you. I put in my homework. Maybe I missed a throw. I thought I was the last one. Did you throw first?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh well. Somewhere something went awry. I'll throw one more after you if something's missing someplace. Hard 10. Damn.
Last roll.
It's a good finish. There you go. So, anyways, you guys can see it. That's pretty much the nature of the beast here. I'm going to throw one more because I think I'm off somewhere. I missed something someplace. She started first. I know that, and I don't think we've missed a beat. Maybe I put a chip someplace. It's the only thing I can think of.
6. Well, if I roll first, then I'm done.
Yeah, you are done. So that's the end of the video, guys, as far as all this goes. I'm going to count it out here real quick. I'll post the settings like I did on the other chart just because this is getting too long. It's 30, well, it's almost at 40 minutes. So I'll post it up simply because it's too big to post. I'll count it out. I'll let you guys look at it. And then I'll count it out and then I'll put it on the grid if I can figure out how to edit this thing again. That's the crazy part. So you guys see it. Let me just kind of restack it here. So she's through that 2. I got 3. She did 1 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's 8 5s. Gee, my knee. That's 5 with a hard. All right, here. I'll put her in the front. I'm in the back. That's all I did. Wow, that's not bad. I could have done better. Anyway, I think yesterday I was telling you, hey, remember what the objective is here, right? As a shooter, you want to go from 6 to 5 7s. You want to go from 5 to 4 sevens. You want to go from 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, and then ultimately try to get 36 with none. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. You saw it live, straight shooting, no camera tricks, no nothing. It's straight up what it is. Again, like, subscribe, share. I hope you learned something. And then keep the comments coming. I'll give you the feedback. Thanks, guys.